Hey folks, Derek with Bud's Gun Shop, and what I want to talk to you today is about something that I've encountered working the retail sales counter for many years, and it's the difference between 9mm and .45. But it's not just a cut and dried situation that you always have to have a 9mm or you always have to have a .45. There's differences. A lot of misconceptions out there that .45 ACP automatically, because it's a larger caliber round, has more recoil. Well, that might hold true in certain situations, but let's say we take a 1911, a full-size 1911. It's got a little bit heavier weight, got more grip to be able to purchase that gun and hang on to it. Because of that weight, even though it being a larger caliber, obviously it's empty, we're always safe here. So that's something to think about. Probably still has less recoil than, say, a Glock 43. We can see this is empty, mag's empty. I can't get my full hand on this because it's a lighter weight, being a polymer frame and just a small compact gun. This is going to have, to me, more felt recoil than, say, this larger .45. Now, you can say, well, we're just not going to base it on that sole decision. This is going to be a much more concealable gun than a 5-inch 1911 for most people, depending upon your style of carry. When we get into it, I'm old school, so to me, there's just something to be said when you're punching a 1/2-inch hole. And that's a .45 ACP, .45 caliber. The downside, because it's such a larger round, is capacity. Usually with 9mm, capacity is going to be something that you have to consider for carry, and 9mm typically will give you more rounds of carry with certain guns, say 320s, Shield Pluses, GX4s, GX2s. There's a plethora of different firearms out there that are really popular for concealed carry that still have high capacity, 12 plus rounds, as many as sometimes 17, depending upon 18, depending upon how you want to carry that gun. Glock 19, for example, is probably the most popular carry gun in that iteration of guns between different manufacturers, holding 15 rounds. It's still in size comparison. It's a little bit bigger than, say, a Glock 43, but yet smaller than a full-size 1911, a lighter weight. So the recoil on that might feel very similar to a .45. This one being a little bit more because it's the physics are in play, being a smaller gun, and this being a larger gun. Now, well, what about a large gun? Let's say this is not for concealed carry, and this is something that I want to go to a range with. Well, then really we're not worried about size comparisons. So now we're talking about .45 versus 9.4, similarly sized guns as well as weight. So for instance, let's say the 226 XFive and a Tisas 1911. And both of them are going to be a full weight guns, this being a 9mm, this being a .45. Well, physics are at play. More weight, full size, I can get my full grip on this gun. It's going to have less recoil, felt recoil, than the .45. Then we have to also consider porting on the barrels. What are the features that the firearm you're looking at will have an impact on whether or not it has more or less recoil. So weight, size, how they feel in the hand, and calibers all make a difference. So what we're talking about is it's just not always a cut and dried situation where I have to have a .45 or I have to have a 9mm. I have to consider what gun I'm looking for, what's my intended purpose, and what am I wanting to do with it? Am I wanting to conceal carry like our purposes, or am I wanting a range gun? And am I sensitive to recoil, or am I not sensitive to recoil? Just something you can try out. Go to your local ranges, try them out. A lot of people offer rentals, try out the different firearms, figure out what works for you and what caliber works best for you. Until then, have fun, stay safe, shoot straight.